these two are the future of the bantamweight division, in my opinion, AJ. And let's start it off with Adrian Yanez opens up as a minus 240 favorite against the plus 200 underdog in Randy Costa. Now, I just have to ask you off the bat, AJ. Randy Costa has finished all 6 of his victories in the first round, all knockouts. Adrian Yanez, super stud, you know what I'm saying? This dude gets it done as well. A lot of knockouts in his last 5, a lot of knockouts overall. Do you think that Adrian Yanez should be a minus 240 favorite against Costa?
I mean, I think minus 240, maybe not. I definitely give him the favorite, at least the betting favorite in this one. He's been a little more relevant. Not too many people know about Costa, but that's the sleeper in this one, Derek. That Costa is very well trained, coming out of Sanford MMA and Joe Luozon's camp MMA. Man, he's got a lot going for him. It's 200 might be a little much. I definitely have this one a little bit closer, of more of a coin toss, coin flip, but 200 just seems a lot. What do you think?
Well, I'll say this, man. I think that it makes sense because Randy Costa is one of those dudes where it's like, listen, man, he's never seen a third round, right? Everything has happened in the first and second round. His sole loss in his career happened in the second round. And he is kind of one of those, kind of like Apollo Costa, pardon the pun for the same last name. But these dudes are big, strong, and they're ready to get after it in the first couple of rounds. The longer the fight goes, I see it favoring Yanez more and more. However, man, all it takes is one. I say Yanez is one of those power dudes who his power translates through accuracy, whereas Costa, his power translates through if he touches you, you're going to go down, man. He's clipped everybody that he has fought. So I don't know if I agree with him being a plus 200 underdog. I will say this shouldn't be a pick'em. I do favor Yanez in this one. I just give him a little bit of an edge, but listen, let's actually break it down a little bit, man. So I just have to give a little bit of context, AJ. You know that there's a little rivalry here going on. It's a fun, friendly rivalry in between some junk food, some nonsense, some weird stuff happening, right? Adrian Yanez is the Dr. Pepper guy. Randy Costa is like the Reese's, Reese's cups or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And it's just interesting to me, AJ, because let's just talk about the context really quickly. These guys have made names for themselves, had really made this a really big matchup on the main card over that friendly Twitter rivalry, man. Is that not interesting to you?
I do like it a lot, Derek, especially because it's proven that you can get media attention any which way. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be with the hands and feet, although that's good too. But you can just talk shit and get people excited about whatever, man. I love that this is kind of bringing it into the sport.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I just thought that was something to comment on. But let's talk about the actual fight here. You know what I'm saying? Adrian Yanez, he's 13-3, 2-0 in the UFC, 8 knockouts, 2 submissions, man. So finishing 10 of your 13 fights is very impressive. 5 first-round finishes. And I want to ask you, how do you see this fight playing out? Randy Costa is a pressure guy. He wants to be in front of you, use his slick movement and striking defense in the pocket. But if he gets blitzed, all those fundamentals go out the window, man, and things start getting ugly. However, he is a very chaotic fighter in the sense where he's just unorthodox. He throws strikes from crazy angles. He'll try to throw a head kick when he's like a foot in front of you, you know what I mean? It's crazy. However, Adrian Yanez, we saw in that last fight against Gustavo Lopez, man, this dude can flow. A lot of people comparing his striking to Jorge Masvidal, and I would say that he might even have better striking than Jorge Masvidal, you know what I'm saying? Only time will tell. How do you see this fight playing out, AJ?
Yeah, I agree with you, man. That Costa just throws these weird kind of out of nowhere stuff, and he's a full pressure fighter. I definitely give him the advantage in the strength, and you're right, I give Yanez the advantage in the speed, even though it's weird for Yanez to have the speed advantage because he stays a little flat-footed. He stays there. He's very calm in the fight, likes to, like I said, stay calm in the pocket, but has some serious pop on his shots. The one X factor I give Yanez is homeboy is very smart in the fight. Stays calm, uses his brain as well as his actual tools, his elbows, his hands, and everything like that. But how I see this fight playing out, I see Costa controlling a little bit of the octagon, maintaining that forward pressure like he does, while Adrian Yanez is looking for that counter strike, looking to come in, drop bombs, and then blitz on him just so we can put Costa on the back feet. But to me, right there, after those little initial aspect of Costa leading the fight and then Yanez looking for a counter strike, that's where the fight gets interesting for me. That's when we're really going to see what Costa has to offer, where his kind of, back in and out style is going to work, or if we're going to see Yanez be able to hurt him, take control, gain some respect, and really start to dominate the fight going that way. How do you see the fight playing out?
You know what, man? I see this playing out a little similarly to what you're saying. However, I do think that Randy Costa, when he has these wild entries, man, which is one of the things that works for him a lot of the time, he sells out in the first round, you know what I mean? Trying to go for these wild entries. At the same time, when he starts looping the big crazy shots and the head kicks, we already saw Adrian Yanez, man. He has like a slickster style. That's what I like to compare his style towards, right? So he's one of those dudes where he's like, I'll just wait for the counter, boot, right there, drop you. And here's the question that I have to ask you, AJ. And this is one that we can both kind of just thought process this in and of itself. Randy Costa's sole loss seemed like a fatigue thing a little bit, but really it was just a rear naked choke loss to Brandon Davis in the second round. In a fight where Davis was getting tagged up, man. Costa was putting it on him, and then he just sunk that thing in. Game over. What are the odds that Adrian Yanez doesn't do the fan-friendly thing, doesn't do the thing that everybody wants him to do, but instead tries to just better his trajectory of his career and go try to take this fight to the ground? Both of these fighters average 0 takedowns and 0 submissions per fight. But who's to say that Yanez doesn't say, like, all right, man, well, I know your weakness, and if you start clipping me, I'm going to take you to the ground. It's going to be interesting. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, that's where I think the interesting part will come. Once Randy Costa goes in and starts throwing that crazy stuff, maybe Yanez catches in with the counter strike, or then he misses maybe in the counter strike, but you're in that medium range, that no man's land. That's where I see Yanez having that extra advantage of being able to take him down. I don't really see that happening, to be honest with you. I'm going like a 20%, 2 out of 10, 20% chance that something like that's going to happen. I'm really banking on a stand-up kind of crazy fight, but I do see this one going a little longer than the first. I don't really think either of these guys, don't get me wrong, both of these guys can finish each other, but I think with the level of striking and with the level of competition that both guys possess, as well as the level of brain and fight IQ, I see this one going a little longer. My question to you, Derek, is do you see this fight going to a decision, or are we getting a knockout on this one?
I think that if this fight goes to a decision, it'll be one. No. Okay, I'm gonna answer a no, and here's the reason why. I think that Randy Costa has never seen a third round, first off, so we don't even know what that's going to look like. And he does seem to be able to fight at a constant pace, but like I said, we've just never seen it. There's too many questions. We know Adrian Yanez for sure can go 3 rounds, same pace, put it on you. And if Randy Costa even at one point smells blood and tries to just sell out for the finish, waste that gas tank, I see Adrian Yanez finishing him in the third round. You know what I mean? What sucks here, AJ, is that this is a matchup that is very similar to the next one we're going to talk about in Macy Barber versus Miranda Maverick, where I just feel like they're too young in their career. Let them get a little more higher in the UFC specifically. Like, let them build up an actual ranking. You know what I mean? Neither of these fighters are ranked. Build up the ranking and then fight down the road. I do think that these two will see each other again somewhere down the road when they're a little bit, more experienced in the big show. But at the end of the day, man, I don't see this fight going to a decision. I think somebody is going to get knocked out, whether it is Yanez or Costa. Somebody got to lose. That's the unfortunate part. The last question before we give our pick on this one, AJ. Randy Costa, he does have a pretty significant increase in output as opposed to Adrian Yanez, right? About 7 significant strikes per minute, whereas Yanez is about 4. Now, what's interesting, the real thing about it is when we're talking about accuracy, Costa actually lands at a higher clip in terms of percentage than Yanez, man. Is that scary? Do you think that's a big factor? Like, are you on the fence in terms of your pick, or are you very decisive? Like, nah, I already know who I think is going to win.
No, I was on the fence with this kind of pick, especially because I like both fighters. I like Yanez as a striker. Like I said, what I like most about him is his fight IQ. Stays calm, uses his weapons as he should. Why I like Costa is because he's dangerous. You just don't know what this dude's going to throw. You don't know the chaos that's going to happen. And the nice thing about him, like you were saying, he lands at a higher clip, but I think he's just so comfortable when he's throwing crazy strikes that he's in that flow state. Get him out of that flow state, blitz on him, put him on his back foot, it's going to be a little interesting. So I'm a little on the fence of this one. That's why I was calling it a coin toss earlier, I don't really know. I like both these fighters. I like seeing where this is going to go. I think the chaos is going to happen after their initial first kind of go at it. So I do think this one isn't going to go to a decision. We're going to see something crazy going forward. This one's interesting to me. What do you think, Derek?
Listen, man, I'm still not decided right now. So when I give my pick, this is still just shuffling in my head. So you go first, Adrian. Who is your pick for this one?
Yeah, Derek. If I had to do this one out, because I'm, like I said before, I'm a little coin toss on this one. If it goes to decision, I'm going Yanez personally. But how I think this one is going to end, I think it's going to be Costa KO round 2. We're going to see a little bit kind of back and forth in the first round. Costa's going to come out, empty the gas tank. We'll see a KO. I don't know if it's going to be him or someone or Yanez, but I'm banking on Costa KO round 2. Who you got?
All right, man. So I've been wanting to go Costa. I got one of Costa's rookie cards in my little card collection for the UFC and whatnot. Like, I'm a fan of this dude, man. But last time I picked against Adrian Yanez, I didn't think that he would be enough for Gustavo Lopez. He proved me wrong. He head kicked this man into oblivion, man. Listen, I got to go Yanez. I'm going a decision. Or no, I already said it's not going to decision. TKO round 3. I think that Costa is going to get tired, and Yanez is still going to be there fresh, accurate, and ready to go. So I'm going to go Yanez on this one. I'm going with the betting favorite, but I don't feel good about it. I don't think that he should be this much of a favorite, to be honest with you. However, that's the pick, man. Let's move on to the next one.